Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Favorite Guitar Solos. This is the show where we talk about, or I talk about specifically in this case, my favorite guitar solos from a particular guitar player. In this instance, we are talking about one of my favorite guitarists of all time. Probably one of the most important guitar players in the history of heavy metal music. Talking about Mr. Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. Okay, so here I'm going to tell you my favorite 10 solos from him. So if you came here and you're like, well, I came here for the solos, where are they? Well, due to copyright restrictions, we can't just play the solos here on the show. But we're going to talk about them. Hopefully you know these songs or in these solos. If not, go check them out. All right. But for those of you who are big-time Iommi fans, we want to hear what your favorite solos are in the comments below. This was kind of tough because, man, this guy, Iommi is known as the riff master. Okay, the music of Black Sabbath. Big, bruising, brontosaurus riffs, doomy riffs, okay? But Mr. Iommi is also a very good soloist. And there are a lot of really tasty, memorable solos in so many classic Black Sabbath songs that have come out over the last 50 years. So I kind of did my best here to figure out which 10 would be on this list. I think you might have couple surprises on here, some probably not surprising because some of these solos are very iconic. All right, but let's get started here. I'm going to go at number 10. I had to throw this one out here because A, I love this album, and B, I think this particular solo is just so almost shocking in how buzzsaw it is. I'm talking about Trashed, the kickoff song from the Born Again album. I mean, this is like in your face Iommi, like you've probably never heard before. I mean, it's just awash in distortion and wah-wah. It's one of his most frenzied and perhaps noisiest solos, and completely, absolutely brutal and savage. And again, it kind of falls in line with what you get on this album, right? I mean, this album's got, it's famous for the murky, muddy production, and it's just heavy, and Ian Gillan's presence. But I think that excuse me, I think Iommi's just kind of buzzsaw tone on this song is just absolutely amazing, and that solo just explodes out of the gate and just grabs you by the throat and just rips you to shreds. So I absolutely love it. Trashed from Born Again, my number 10. Coming in at number 9, we're going to go to the Master of Reality album for the solo in Children of the Grave. Short, blistering, but oh so chilling. It absolutely matches the mood of the song perfectly, and I think that's one of the things that Iommi was so great at. His solos just totally complemented the songs that they were in. And if you had, Children of the Grave is just this kind of chaotic, heavy, evil sounding song, right? And his solo, it's perfect for the song. It's absolutely perfect. The solo is so chilling. All right. He's got longer ones, sure, but this one, just a work of genius. So, Children of the Grave from Master of Reality, coming in at 9. Coming in at 8, I'm going to go to the Mob Rules album for the title track. This is, Mob Rules is a great, fast-paced, heavy ripper of a song, and this solo in this song is rampaging Tony Iommi at his very best. Yet it's so melodic. All right, it just kind of takes you on this journey. The whole song just and the solo comes in, and it's just it's memorable, it's melodic, it's tasty, but it's all heavy metal, and it's all Tony Iommi, perfectly housed within a great song. Mob Rules coming in number 8. Number 7. Let's go all the way back to the debut, shall we? All right, love that album cover, right? The Black Sabbath album. How about NIB? All right, another one of those, and especially, early on in the career of Black Sabbath, Iommi's solos are just so well constructed and thought out. Again, mini song within a song, and that's the perfect way to describe the NIB solo. It's like everybody who's a Black Sabbath fan, that solo. You don't have to be a guitar player. You know every note of that solo. You can hear it in your head. You can hum it. You can sing it. That's what's so great about this guy. Okay, every note is so memorable. It solo and NIB, and a lot of songs on this album, and the second album, and third album, are like mini epic guitar solo songs within a more epic, greater song. Okay, mini song within a song. NIB absolutely does that. So tasty, so tasty. Okay, let's stick on the kind of older album thing here. So let's go to Paranoid album. I know we've all heard this song a million times. But that middle and ending solo to Iron Man from Paranoid is just absolutely spine tingling. Okay, again, I've been listening to this album and this band for the bulk of my life, and Iron Man and Paranoid too. One of the more a couple of the more played out songs for me. That they've got so much other material, but man, I can still listen to the solo in Iron Man, the solos I should say, in Iron Man any day. I mean, those hammer-on and pull-offs, just so tasty, so memorable. It's just, that's how you create a memorable guitar solo that people will keep coming back to, and again, that people remember. All right, it's not just a bunch of notes just thrown out there. It's just, again, I hate to keep saying it, all right, but some of the best guitar players who have some of the best solos in rock history, they make those solos memorable. They become a song within the song. And when you can remember in your head and hum a guitar solo, they've done something very good there. Okay, they've really created something lasting there and timeless. And the solos, because there's two great ones in Iron Man, both fall into that category. All right. For my number 5, we're going to go back to Heaven and Hell, which I think we're going to revisit a couple times here. How about Neon Nights? Kick things off, right? You remember the first time, if you were a Black Sabbath fan prior to Ozzy leaving the band and Dio coming in, if you remember the first time you heard this album, you're like, holy crap, that's a different Black Sabbath. It's like, this is a supercharged Black Sabbath. This is a Black Sabbath moving into the 80s. This is, there's still that doom element there, but this is like fast and furious and brutally heavy Black Sabbath, but in a different way. And Iommi's playing kind of had to go in a different direction as well. And I think with Neon Nights, there's an element of it's fast. The solo's fast. It's kind of flashy, yet really tasty, because Iommi solos are all really tasty. And it's another really melodic, memorable solo within a really, really fast and furious bulldozing track. All right. So there you have my number 5, Neon Nights from Heaven and Hell. Well, I'm not going to put Heaven and Hell away, because my number 4 pick is also from this album, and it happens to be the title track. Throughout a good chunk of the 80s and going forward, Sabbath would make Heaven and Hell kind of like the centerpiece of the set to allow Iommi to do like a big long solo. Okay, so you can you look at the Live Evil album, and if you've ever seen them live, in that time period and going forward, Iommi would do like a big unaccompanied solo, like in the middle of Heaven and Hell. He'd be out there all by himself doing this, all sorts of cool stuff. But I think that the studio version, the solo in the studio version, it's so well constructed. There's so much emotion. All right, got that perfect light use of delay at the beginning of the solo, right? He's doing these really slow, kind of bluesy lines, and then it builds and builds, okay, to a furious climax. Again, so memorable. So how many of you, know and love the Heaven and Hell song, know all the words, Ronnie singing, all that kind of stuff, but you just, every little lick, every little note in your head. You memorized it over the years. That guitar solo from Iommi in Heaven and Hell. It's iconic, right? It's absolutely brilliant. So, Heaven and Hell coming in at number 4. Number 3. All right, where's Paranoid? Because Paranoid's not going away. How about War Pigs? Another one. Really dramatic. I think another thing you can say about a lot of the great Iommi solos for those first couple albums. Really dramatic. This one takes the listener through so many twists and turns. And then I think the solo at the end of the song is even better, right? And that's one thing I do want to kind of hit on. A lot of these early albums, Iommi would toss in this really cool solo in the middle, And in some cases, it was more of like kind of like a bluesy or slower solo. And then at the end of the song, he would come back with a vengeance, all right, and speed things up a little bit and really go for the jugular. That's kind of what he does in War Pigs. I mean, this is classic stuff here. Classic stuff. So that's coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, I'm going to go to my beloved Volume 4 album for Snowblind. And again, another example of 2 great solos, both amazing. Dogs barking in the background. The middle and ending solos are just absolutely so chilling here. And again, it's his choice of notes that really matter, okay? Sometimes there's a lot of them. Sometimes there's a flurry of them. Like, at the end of the song, he's got those rapid flutters, that are just absolutely spine-tingling. And it really matches the song. Really matches the song. So, Snowblind, my number 2. And my favorite Iommi solo of all time, we're going to go back to the Heaven and Hell album because, quite frankly, I think some of his best guitar playing of his entire career is on. He's got, every album is great, but I think Heaven and Hell has some of his best playing ever. I think he just sounds rejuvenated on this record after, a tough couple of years towards the latter stages with Ozzy, and you got Dio in the band now, and I just think that he sounded great, and the production of Martin Birch is great on this album. But Lonely is the Word. It's the last song on the album. It's kind of a somewhat of a departure for the band. It's more of kind of like a mournful bluesy song, all right? And his solo perfectly states that, all right? It's epic sounding in every way, so much emotion. Both the main solo and the ending solo. The ending solo is completely haunting. It just kind of goes on and on and on, and he's just ripping off these just mournful, sorrowful notes. And but it's a pretty parts of the solo are pretty fast. All right, there's a little bit of flash going in there, but more importantly, it's just it's kind of like an emotional Iommi that I don't think we had ever heard before. And that's what makes it so great. So, Lonely is the Word. My favorite Iommi guitar solo of all time from Heaven and Hell. So let's recap this list. Lonely is the Word coming in at number 1 from Heaven and Hell. Number 2, Snowblind from Volume 4. Number 3, War Pigs from Paranoid. Number 4, Heaven and Hell from Heaven and Hell. Number 5, Neon Nights, also from Heaven and Hell. Number 6, Iron Man from Paranoid. Number 7, NIB from Black Sabbath. Number 8, Mob Rules from Mob Rules. Number 9, Children of the Grave from Master of Reality. And number 10, Trashed from Born Again. There's plenty of other great ones. I could have, I toyed with the idea of giving you a couple honorable mentions, but man, that would have been ridiculous. There probably isn't an Iommi solo that I don't love. So they're all great. If you're not a fan, you really should give this guy a listen. I know some, for non-Black Sabbath, it's hard to believe that there's non-Black Sabbath fans out there, but I'm sure there are. But not just a guy who churns out riffs, a terrific soloist as well. He may not have the crazy chops of an Yngwie Malmsteen or a Steve Vai or someone like that, but he is such a tasty player, such a melodic player, more importantly, and he can do the fast stuff when he wants to. A great player when you consider, he's left-handed and the tops of his fingers were chopped off when he was much younger. It's like crazy to think of what he's been able to accomplish. But, when it comes to firing out, big, huge, fat riffs and blazing, memorable solos on the Gibson SG, not many better than Mr. Iommi, one of my all-time guitar heroes. So let's hear what your favorite Iommi guitar solos are in the comments and feedback below. All right, and this is on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. So coming up on the channel, we've got later today, we've got Rich Catino coming on. We are going to rank the studio albums of White Lion. Was hoping to speak to Mark Kelly from Aurelian this morning, but It looks like we might have to reschedule that, so stay tuned for more information on that. And we got tomorrow night, we've got the Hudson Valley Squares, all talking about our favorite vocalists of all time in hard rock and metal, as well as Chris Allo and I will be ranking the studio albums of Nightwish, so you don't want to miss that. So lots of cool stuff coming on the channel. Stay tuned, and also we've got Guitar Hack coming on this week, and we are going to give our favorite guitar solos from Mr. Alex Lifeson from Rush. So all that's happening and more this week, so you don't want to miss any of it. We'll see you real soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.